7 more books every perfume lover should have in their collection. If you've ever wondered how I connect perfume notes with mythology, folklore, magical traditions, and symbolism, the answer is books. Whenever I'm researching a fragrance, I'm rarely looking at just the perfumer's note list. I want to know why a flower has been associated with love for centuries, why a particular tree appears in funeral rites, why certain herbs are used for protection, healing, divination, or remembrance. The scent itself is only the beginning. The stories behind the plants are what really captivate me. This is my second video on my growing botanical fragrance and herbalism library. These are some of the newest in my collection, and I was just getting ready to shelve them, so I thought I would share them with you. This Wild Life, Heroines and the History of Botany by Lucretia Saville Weems. This book combines botanical history with the stories of the women who helped shape our understanding of plants. I picked this book up when I visited Ashland. It's by a local author. I'm really looking forward to learning more about historical botanists, as well as finding some of their works to add to my reference collection. Korean Herbal Apothecary by Grace Yoon. This is a beautiful modern herbal reference that explores traditional Korean plant wisdom in ways that are both accessible and rooted in cultural tradition. As I build my botanical library, it's important to me that I not approach plants solely through a Western lens. So much of our understanding of plants, be they North American, Asian, South American, African, originates in indigenous, traditional, and ancient knowledge systems. Reading works like this will help to broaden my perspective and remind me that every culture has its own rich relationship with the plants that grow around them. The 9 Plant Spell by Joseph S. Hopkins. If you're interested in the magical history of plants, this one is fascinating. Hopkins examines one of the oldest surviving herbal charms or spells in the English language and the symbolism behind each sacred plant. It's a wonderful resource for understanding the spiritual history carried by so many familiar herbs. Floral Folklore by Allison Davies. This is exactly what it sounds like in the best possible way. Flower after flower, Davies shares myth, superstition, magical association, cultural stories. The Atlas of Botanical Fragrances by Jean-Claude Elena, written by a notable and prolific perfumer, the nose behind Hermès fragrances for over a decade, while also creating for houses like Frederic Malle and L'Artisan Parfumeur. This book is an incredible exploration of aromatic materials through the eyes of someone who truly understands scents. It helps bridge the gap between botanical knowledge and perfumery in a way that few books can. The Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady by Edith Holden. This one is less of a reference book and more of an inspiration. It's a seasonal nature journal filled with observations, botanical illustrations, poetry, and just lovely quiet moments that remind me that perfume begins in a landscape and paying attention to the changing world around me. And The Book of Tea by Kakuzu Okakara. This isn't a book about perfume, but it might be one of the most beautiful books about appreciating beauty and ritual. Okakura explores tea as an art form and a philosophy of presence, simplicity, and intentional living. It reminds me that plants and botanicals nourish us in so many ways, and olfaction is a thread that flows through every part of those experiences. Food, drink, candles, flowers, bathing, fragrance. These books have completely changed the way I experience fragrance. Instead of simply asking, what does the note smell like? I find myself asking, what stories has this plant carried through history, through cultures? What did people believe about it? How is it used in medicine, in ritual, in magic, in daily life? That's where perfume becomes more than fragrance. It becomes culture, folklore, memory, and living history. I'd love to know what's one book that has changed the way that you experience fragrance, plants, or nature. And if there are any botanical or magical references that you think belong on my shelves, please leave them in the comments below. My library is always growing, and if you missed my first video where I went over probably a dozen other books, go ahead and look that up too. There are some great books in there. Happy reading and happy sniffing.